When you think of the original Ronaldo, you probably remember the goals, right? The impossible step-overs, that absolute blur of speed, and yeah, that unforgettable haircut from the 2002 World Cup. But that's just the highlight reel. We're going to dive into the whole story of Ronaldo Nazário, the man they called O Fenómeno, to really explore the once-in-a-generation talent that completely reshaped football, and the incredible pain that nearly destroyed it all.
And that is not an exaggeration. Seriously. At his peak, Ronaldo wasn't just another player on the field. He was an event. Defenders didn't just try to stop him, they were trying to survive him. I mean, think about it. He had the pace of a world-class sprinter, the power of a heavyweight boxer, and the grace of a dancer. The game had literally never seen anything like him before.
And that, right there, is the central question of his entire career. Because for all of his almost superhuman ability, his body was tragically, painfully human. And this exact conflict would come to define his whole story.
So, look, to really understand Ronaldo, you have to see his career not as one straight line, but as two stories running side by side. You've got the story of this unstoppable genius on the pitch, and at the same time, the story of a man fighting a constant, agonizing battle against his own body.
That nickname, O Fenómeno, it wasn't just some clever marketing slogan. It was basically a diagnosis. Ever since he was a teenager back in Brazil, it was just obvious he was different. People called him a glitch in the system, a player who didn't just play the striker position, but completely broke it and then rebuilt it in his own image.
So this incredible talent was completely unleashed when he arrived in Europe. After a quick, amazing stop at PSV, he lands at Barcelona in '96. And for one single season, he created what you can only describe as a footballing earthquake.
34 goals. Now, I know what you might be thinking. In today's game, that number, it sounds achievable. But back in 1997, it was absolutely otherworldly. You've got to remember the context here. This was long before the Messi and Cristiano era, where, 40 or 50 goal seasons kind of became the new normal. For almost 15 years, nobody in Spain had even come close to a number like that. Ronaldo, all by himself, set a new ceiling for what we all thought was humanly possible for a striker.
And tactically, forget about it. You didn't build a system for Ronaldo. He was the system. You could just give him the ball anywhere near the halfway line, and he had the pure individual brilliance to go and win the match all on his own. He was a one-man game plan.
But you know how these stories often go. After that spectacular high in Barcelona came the move to Inter Milan, and with it, a truly devastating, dark chapter. This is where that force of nature finally met an immovable object, his own body.
So many great athletes end up battling demons. But Ronaldo's were internal in the most literal sense. It wasn't drama or lifestyle choices that were threatening his career. It was the very tendons and ligaments in his knee that were failing under the immense strain of his own talent.
And just look at this timeline. It's absolutely brutal. November '99, a partial tendon rupture. He fights his way all the way back, and then, in his very first game back in April 2000, the tendon just completely explodes. For the next 2 years, his career wasn't just on hold. By all accounts, it should have been over. Done.
But here's the thing about a true phenomenon. They don't follow a normal script. After years lost in the wilderness of surgeries and rehab, came one of the greatest comeback stories in the history of sports, the 2002 World Cup in Japan and South Korea.
This wasn't just about winning a trophy. This was about redemption. This was the moment Ronaldo went from being a tragic story of what might have been to an absolute legend. He didn't just come back. He came back and conquered the entire world.
And this is the number that sealed it all. 2 goals in the World Cup final against Germany. The man whose career was supposed to be completely finished had just single-handedly delivered his country the biggest prize in all of football. I mean, it was the perfect end to an impossible chapter. So after the World Cup, he begins this whole new phase of his career. He moves to Real Madrid to become the centerpiece of the famous Galacticos. But here, he wasn't the explosive kid from Barcelona anymore. He was something different, a wise, elder statesman, a proven winner.
And his impact, it was felt off the pitch too. Just listen to what his teammate, the great Zinedine Zidane, said about it. He loved having Ronaldo there not just for his goals, but because Ronaldo's insane star power basically created a shield for everybody else.
Think about it. Ronaldo just soaked up all the media craziness, all the pressure, all the flashing lights, and this let a quieter genius like Zidane just focus on playing football. Ronaldo handled the circus so Zidane could conduct the orchestra. And on the pitch, well, their connection was just telepathic.
and it led Madrid straight to a league title in 2003.
Sure, the injuries had robbed him of that explosive yard of pace, but they couldn't touch his football brain. So he evolved. The sprinting machine from his Barca days became a much more clinical, intelligent forward, a player who became known for his excellent vision and his perfect timing.
And this really gets to the heart of his legacy. In our modern era, we're obsessed with stats, right? It's so tempting to just compare goal tallies. But to do that with Ronaldo is to miss the entire point of who he was. His true value, his real impact, it just transcends numbers on a spreadsheet.
He really represents this crucial turning point in football history. You see, he had all the raw, joyful, street-style creativity of the players of the past, but he delivered it with the speed and power of the modern super athlete. He was the bridge that completely changed our understanding of what a striker could even be.
And so we're left with this question, aren't we? We all saw flashes of what might have been the most perfect attacking player ever created. So if his body hadn't betrayed him, if he'd had a full, healthy career, would we even be debating who is the greatest of all time? Or is it possible that the struggle